Today we're going to be installing the DynoValve. The DynoValve is an electronic PCV valve. Along with the DynoValve is an electronic controller that operates the DynoValve. And first thing we need to do is take a vacuum reading on OEM and see what our low is at idle, also at 2,500 RPMs. And as we go along, I will show you the difference between a DynoValve and the OEM valve. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and install the vacuum gauge so we can take an OEM reading. So we'll have readings before and after the installation. So I'm going to hook it up right now. Let's see here. I can get them. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the truck up. By the way, I'm putting this on a 1997 half-ton Silverado Z71 Chevy pickup. And I'm going to set it right here. I'm going to start the truck up. We'll get some readings. Okay. Right now we're about, it's pulling just a hair over 20 inches of vacuum at idle. And I'm going to go ahead and run it up to 2,500 and also check OEM vacuum at 2,500. Maybe we can set this right here. Okay, now we're going to do the test at 2,500 on the vacuum gauge and see where our OEM readings are. Go ahead and bring it up. Right there I'm getting about 21 inches. As I have a sheet we'll record all the data on. We have OEM. I needed to check what the RPMs were, but the vacuum at idle was 19 inches, and on 2,500 was running around 21. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the DynoValve. As I'm installing the DynoValve, I'm going to go ahead and leave my vacuum hooked up so I can take my reading after I've installed the valve. So I'm going to place the valve here in the cover. Okay, this here is the controller that controls the DynoValve. It's an electronic controller. This one here I've selected the 8-cylinder 0-1250 RPM because this has a single coil. And so we're going to use tap it off just like you would a tachometer. This lead here, I'm going to hook up to the coil on the negative side of the coil. The short side will be powered 12 volts and ground, and the long lead will go to hook up to the DynoValve. Plug it in. Now I need to find power. So we go into the fuse panel and I find a source in here that I could use. And the one I've selected is the ECM-1. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and put in a, we call a fuse tap. It's called add a circuit. And what we do is we take, put a 5 amp fuse into the top. This will run the DynoValve. We put the original one out of the fuse panel back in the bottom one, and it needs to go in the proper way. If you reverse it, then all the power will go through the bottom. So if the bottom fuse, if that was to go out, it would knock everything out. So we need to make sure that the power that when you put it in there, that the power is on the left side, opposite of the wire coming out. So that the power will come up and go through, and the power will come up and go through the original. Put it in backwards, then the power just goes up straight and bypasses. So you need to check in the fuse panel and make sure you find out which ones is the power supply, which probe, and it goes in that way. We brought it out through here, so the cover will go back on nicely. Back around here, I installed the ground wire, and I just used this bolt here on the side.
Okay, let's let me zoom in on that. Where is that bolt?
Right there.
Okay, just see it.
You see it?
Okay. Got it.
And I put everything in wire loom to make it look as much like OEM, make it look like a nice installation.
Okay. Maybe you can again explain the fuse tap. Okay.
Right here is the fuse tap that will be installed. We put the original fuse on the bottom, and the one for the dyno valve goes on top. And this is the lead running out here.
And why is it important to install the fuse tap the correct way?
If you reverse the fuse tap and put it in, the power needs to come on the left side of the fuse tap. When you need to check your power to find out which side the power is coming in on here, so you can put it in the proper way. Okay, step 5 is testing the operation of the controller. I'm going to turn the key on, and I'm going to check the power in the LED right here on the controller. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm getting power. I'm getting just basically a steady green light. You can't see inside, but you'll see a little pulse of a red light in there. It's looking for the signal. It's not picking the signal up right now because the engine hasn't been started. So I'm going to go ahead and start the engine up. And what you're going to see when I start the engine is for a period of 2 minutes, because it has a 2-minute delay, you're going to see a green light and then a red light, and then a green light and a red light, and that will continue for 2 minutes. Every few seconds it will change. Once it's timed out for 2 minutes, then it will get the pulse from the coil, the signal. You see it? Okay. So now you're seeing the red light and the green light and the red light, and that will happen for 2 minutes. Once it's timed out, then we're going to check the vacuum, our settings, and I'll be able to show you what the DynoValve does. Can you see that okay? The glare? Okay. Okay, we have the engine running. You can see the controller is timed out. It's hard to see in this video the beats that's coming off the tachometer signal off the coil. But you can kind of see a greenish, it's kind of an orange color. As I bring the RPMs up, you'll see it kick in. They'll go to a red. The valve is kicked in there. It's at 1200 RPMs. The controller will kick the valve in. So when you take off from the signal or you punch it, it'll kick it in. Well, what I want to do right now is I want to check my my idle vacuum and document that down. We're running about 19.5 inches. Now I want to check it again at 2,500 RPMs. This is where you can see the dyno valve kick in. It drops it down to about 14 inches of vacuum. And that's pretty good. From the OEM vacuum at 2,500 was 21 inches, we're dropping down to 14. We have a lot of flow going through the dyno valve from the crankcase, so it's picking up all the blow-by gases and reburning them back through the engine. It helps clean the engine. You pick up horsepower, performance, so many things. To clean out the inside of the engine, the carbons, and keeps the engine clean.